With physiotherapists out of work and doctors being highly in demand, sorting out any minor injuries you might get, that sort of annoying ache in your knee or your heel perhaps not going down quite as far as you might like, I don't know what that classes as an annoying injury, you've got to sort them out yourself basically. And Knott Kinetics from Gosport are one of the local businesses who are obviously affected by the coronavirus pandemic, but they have managed to take their service online, including virtual physiotherapy. And I'm trying to work out how that works. Sport therapist Lawrence Knott from Knott Kinetics joins me now. Morning, Lawrence. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Pat. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Nice to talk to you. I mean, before we sort of get into the nuts and bolts of how this works, there are obvious problems, perhaps, that come up with all this time indoors that we're spending, more time slouched on the sofa or lying on beds. Is that going to be something that you're going to be hearing more about, do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, we're used to daily activity keeping us active and moving a hell of a lot through the day. So actually, at this point of time, people are doing way less than normal. So obviously, that's going to cause a lot of issues, which is obviously then going to impact on our job load, actually. So.
And that's things like sort of back pain that you're going to get if you do. And I must admit, Lawrence, I'm guilty of this. My posture is awful. I often sit badly, and about once a year I find myself in the chiropractor, getting it all released and that kind of thing. So what's a top tip for avoiding all that? I mean, other than the sort of basic sit up straight, which I guess is the best bit of advice.
Yeah, surely. I mean, obviously, like you say, going to see the chiropractor is a very reactive way of approaching your healthcare. With my business, Knott Kinetics, we talk about proactive healthcare all the time. So ways to look after yourself rather than being dependent on us. We work as a team, my clinical team and the patients themselves, in that moment of trying to get you through your patient journey, as we call it, from injury to health and well-being, that state of wellness again. So actually what you can do is purely move, yeah? So rather than being a victim of this circumstance, actually look at it as an opportunity to do more movement than you may have ever done before. But simply moving is the critical thing. So if everyone's sitting down listening to us right now, what I would suggest is everyone stands up.
Okay, let's do it.
Literally just to stand up is a first thing that you can do. So you're just changing your posture, which is first of all going to affect your weight-bearing positions, and also how your spine is aligning. So everything is starting to move and you're having to use your muscles to stand up. So that is one thing that separates us from the animal kingdom and being humans, is that we can stand up straight. So we should operate that often as much as we can.
And it's also because we're not necessarily getting the daily walking, and I'm certainly not getting the daily walking in that I used to do, because my bit of exercise is walking to work, then back again. And on my 10,000 steps calculator, sadly, Lawrence, that's coming in at about 1,800 steps at the moment. It's pretty pathetic. So if I can stay upright, at least that's moving those muscles around in a different way. So I've taken the mickey out a little bit about virtual physiotherapy, because in my mind that is getting someone on the bench and manipulating what needs to be manipulated by your own two hands. So how can it work virtually? Is it literally advice like that you've given me, or can you sort of have a look on a webcam and say, what you need to do is this?
Yeah, it's very difficult. Obviously, first and foremost, we're hands-on practitioners. So whether you're seeing me, myself, I'm a sports therapist. I have physiotherapists and osteopaths that also work within the clinic. So obviously our first port of call is hands-on therapy. But as I was saying, we work as a team. So our part of that side of the teamwork is actually going to be a little bit hampered at the moment. So we're trying to facilitate you as the person who owns the body that we're trying to fix to actually do your bit. And actually, to actually do some movements that
prevention,
are going to be
not cure, Lawrence. Prevention,
Correct.
Not cure.
I talk about this all the time. So it's about being proactive and looking at that opportunity to prevent further issues rather than having to sort of firefight, if you like.
And what's the sort of thing that, if for example, the one I tend to get quite regularly is a bit of lower back pain, as we mentioned, but also the crick in the neck as well. You wake up in the morning, you've slept a little bit funny, and you can't quite turn your head all the way to the left or right without it hurting. I can't come and see you in person. What might I be able to do about that, for example?
Okay, so if you wanted to go through the medium of Facebook, actually we've got a daily stretch routine that we do on a Facebook Live.
Oh,
That
really?
goes out at 8 o'clock in the morning every day. And those are obviously recorded. So if you can't meet us at 8 o'clock in the morning, then obviously you can do that in your own time as and when you want to. But we do a top-to-toe stretch, and it's a daily mobilising facility. And obviously I talk about it being a generalised stretching routine. So if you have any specific issues, then obviously to contact us directly to do the one-to-one approach. Obviously we'll then make it more of a bespoke element,
what great idea.
case-specific. But obviously we're doing those live options. Also,
and is that not Kinetics on Facebook, not with a K? Just look that up, Lawrence.
So it is with a K, so it's KNOTT, and then Kinetics, like movement.
I knew I was saying that wrong.
Yes, I just wanted to correct you as soon as I could. That's okay.
No, you're quite right to
problem.
do that. One final question, Lawrence. Can I sit down again now, please?
Please, yes, everyone do. But what I would suggest is put a cushion in the small of your back.
Yeah.
To stay in a good posture as best you can, but regular and often movement throughout the day is really going to be useful for everyone.
I will make better use of my scatter cushions. Great to talk to you, Lawrence.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Take care.